What's up, senpai?
What's up?
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, what is up? It is Zach here from the Storm Garage with a new buddy today. Say what is up, Hayden.
What's up, you guys?
This is also a fellow Miata buddy. He drives the little Miata that we like to call Senpai now. Let's get a look at this thing. This gorgeous little NA. What year is this again?
90.
Just 90. So it's got the short nose crank?
Yeah, it's 90.
Yeah.
It's pretty much just the base. It doesn't have anything special to it.
What is that?
Yeah, it's the special part about white Miatas from like the 90s. They didn't prime them well. All the paint starts to chip away after the years.
I see you got a sick Volante wheel in there. That's pretty good. And some Advanti Storm S1s.
I actually really like, honestly, with how these look when people drop them and stuff, they look really great.
Are these 15 by 8s?
Yeah.
15 by 8 wide boys. I ain't even got those yet. So what are we doing today, Aiden?
We dropped the subframe in the Joker.
Yeah, the subframe is coming out of the Joker because it is getting done in a metallic lime green. So we have to pull that out so I can get that to Nick over at Wiscoat so he can go ahead and sandblast it and powder coat it. I'm gonna try keeping the rack in the car because I don't want to try relining up the spline. Mazda did it smart, unlike Honda. I just replaced the subframe on a 97 Civic. And it was a nightmare because you had to drop the whole rack and everything, and we had to reline up the splines and get in there with like 2 little fingers to try and put the nuts back on to bolt it up inside the rack, and it sucked. This one, luckily, the rack is on top of the subframe right out in front of it, so we should be able to unbolt it from the subframe and just wrap some cords around it and keep it from falling. So we're gonna get into that. I'm gonna go through what we all have to pull on the car to be able to get the subframe out, and then we're gonna pull it out. Okay, so we're gonna start off by taking both of the front wheels off. We have to start by taking the caliper off and then the rotor off the car, and then pop the tie rod end out of here, and we'll just hang the tie rod end from the rack on both sides down. Normally you'd go along here and disconnect the sway bar that runs along here into the sway bar end links, but I already took my sway bar off of here. You'd also have to disconnect the engine mounts from the engine, but there's no engine to mount to right now in this. You'd have to support the engine on the top. You'd have 2 little rings on the engine, and you'd have to run a chain between them and support them on top of the fenders. Make sure the engine doesn't fall out of the car when you drop the subframe. And then we also have to pull the 1 bolt out of the bottom of the strut here. Then all the bolts holding the subframe into the actual car, and then the subframe should just drop out. It's a relatively simple job to do on the NA Miatas, just like everything is on these cars. So let's go ahead and get into taking everything off. So the tools you'll need for taking everything off right here is a 17mm closed end wrench, 14mm wrench, take off the caliper and then the cage. You should always take them apart anyways to grease your slide pins, make sure everything's working properly. So if you're getting down here and doing this, might as well do that. Change your brake pads while you're at it, get that done. 17mm, take that bolt out of the bottom, and the castle nut, which looks like that's not gonna be very fun to take out of there because that cotter pin is rusted in there really good. So let's go ahead and take everything apart here. So we gotta make a run to the parts store because I don't have a breaker bar to break off 2 of the nuts that are in a really tight area that I can't get at with my impact. We gotta get up in there, take those 2 nuts off of there. So we're gonna head off and take a ride in Senpai to go get some food and a breaker bar from the local either O'Reilly's, AutoZone, or Walmart or something. Let's go for a ride in this sweet whip. We're in Mexico. We just took a trip to Mexico. What's up?
I didn't know there was snow in Mexico.
Oh, it's snow. There's no snow. I don't know what you're talking about.
Have our nice mill here where they, I'm assuming, slaughter chickens and stuff and all that. Beautiful.
Did we stop for our Mexican Dunn Brothers coffee?
Hell yeah, I didn't know they had Young Brothers in Mexico.
We got some Nirvanas.
Chocolate steamed Nirvanas.
Chocolate steamed Nirvanas. What do you think?
I love these. Granted, they're $5 a piece or $4 a piece.
$4.30. A little hot. What do we got to do next now?
Gotta get a breaker bar. I gotta get some oil too.
Yeah, and oil and food.
Yep, yeah, that too.
We got a lot of stuff to do on this fine Sunday afternoon in Mexico. So we got the freaking 2-foot breaker bar, so hopefully we'll be able to get that bolt off there. And now we're ready to go back to Wisconsin from Mexico, right? Heck yeah, and it's been fun in Mexico.
It's only gonna be a short 3-day drive, that's all.
So we'll start recording when we're back, and it'll probably be the same temperature out. And we're gonna get that subframe off. Okay, we are back here now with the 2-foot breaker bar, so we're gonna go ahead and see if we can even loosen these nuts on here. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to with this. Yeah, there we go. We're gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. All right, so we're gonna go through this side and take everything off. All right, now it's time to loosen these bolts. Heck yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and remove the 2 that are under the car first, and then we're gonna go ahead and get these to the very end. And then we're gonna go ahead and put a jack under it and support it, and then we're gonna drop the subframe down, and hopefully everything comes out relatively easy. All right, so these bolts in the back of the subframe are 14mm, so hopefully they come out nice. Yes. Thank you for not breaking on me, bolts. That should be the only ones holding the back on. Time for the Oogie Doogas. Yeah, there we go. How do you like them apples? Subframe. Yeah, there we go. We'll pull off the other side. So I lied, there's 2 more bolts back here too. I did not get a chance to watch a video for this, so I wasn't 100% sure how to do it. We'll get those out. So we're gonna pull this last bolt on this side. I was gonna stick a board across the subframe, but started to drop it to stick the board across, and the whole side fell on that side, so we're not gonna do that. Slowly start letting the jack down.
Today would have been the perfect day to take it down to Mexico too.
Oh man, right.
Oh yeah.
All right, back to subframe dropping. Start setting it down. Oh, okay. Okay. That is how to improperly drop your subframe. And she made it out of the car. Not done 100% properly, but that still wasn't too bad to get out of the car. A lot easier than the Honda subframes. Now we just have to later take off the upper and lower control arms and send in the subframe to get powder coated. Woo woo. Everything just hanging from the car. Yeah, awesome. That AC is gonna have to be removed along with power steering. Oh yes. Yeah, just stretching that AC wire. Woo woo. So yeah, that's how you pull your subframe on a NA6 Miata. Pretty simple. I'm gonna go ahead and clean it up and then get it shipped over to Nick to get it powder coated. I think that's all we have to do on the Joker for this episode. Put the engine back in there and get everything all reconnected, and maybe take it out for a whip with the old suspension and then change it over to the coilovers. So until then guys, peace.